How to fix Crysis 2 Remastered running, but not opening NVIDIA DLSS. Welcome back to Teknobalta. Today, we're diving deep into a perplexing issue plaguing many Crysis 2 Remastered enthusiasts, specifically the frustrating scenario where the game appears to be running in the background processes, but stubbornly refuses to launch or display on your screen, often exacerbated by NVIDIA advanced DLSS technology. This comprehensive guide will equip you with professional, deep-dive solutions to resolve this elusive problem, ensuring you can immerse yourself in the iconic nanosuit action without interruption. Our goal is to transform your experience from a dark, frustrating crash state, symbolized by a Windows error dialog, citing Crysis 2 Remastered launch interruption. A critical display initialization error occurred. The application process is active, but a compatible rendering context could not be established. Verify graphics driver integrity and monitor specific application profiles within the NVIDIA Control Panel. Issue code Crysis 2 render init failures into a bright, successful launch with the game running flawlessly on a 4K, hyperrealistic display, featuring professional lighting and a satisfied user. Let's begin troubleshooting this complex technical hurdle. 1. Adjust NVIDIA Control Panel settings for Crysis 2 Remastered. The most critical solution often involves overriding NVIDIA global graphics settings, particularly those related to DLSS and advanced rendering, which can conflict with the game's initial launch sequence. This granular control is essential for establishing a stable operating environment for the remastered title. Navigate to your NVIDIA Control Panel, select Manage 3D Settings, and then click on the Program Settings tab to find Crysis 2 Remastered. Here, explicitly set image scaling, which includes DLSS, to off, or use Global Setting off, initially preventing any pre-launch conflicts with its upscale algorithm. Furthermore, for all other options under this specific program profile, ensure they are set to Use Application Settings, rather than forcing global NVIDIA optimizations. This grants the game full control over its rendering pipeline during startup, allowing you to re-enable desired features like DLSS from within the game's options once it successfully launches. 2. Update your graphics drivers to the latest version. Outdated or corrupted graphics drivers are a frequent culprit for launch failures, especially with remastered titles that leverage newer rendering APIs and hardware features. Always ensure you are running the very latest stable drivers directly from the NVIDIA website for optimal compatibility and performance. 3. Perform a clean graphics driver installation. The method. If a simple update doesn't suffice, a clean driver installation using Display Driver Uninstaller is highly recommended to eliminate any residual or corrupt driver files. Boot into safe mode. Run to completely remove NVIDIA drivers, then perform a fresh installation of the latest version. 4. Verify game file integrity via Epic Games Launcher. Corrupted or missing game files can prevent an application from launching correctly, even if the process initiates. Open your Epic Games Launcher, navigate to your library, locate Crysis 2 Remastered, click the 3 dots, and select Verify to repair any discrepancies. 5. Run the game executable as an administrator. Insufficient administrative privileges can sometimes block an application from accessing necessary system resources or writing temporary files, leading to a silent failure to launch. Locate the game's executable file, e.g., Crysis 2 Remastered, exe in its installation directory, right-click, select Properties, and under the Compatibility tab, check Run this program as an administrator. 6. Disable full-screen optimizations for the game. Windows 10 and 11 implement full-screen optimizations that can occasionally interfere with certain games' rendering pipelines, causing display issues or preventing launch. In the same Compatibility tab as before, check the box for Disable Full-Screen Optimizations to potentially resolve this conflict. 7. Adjust display refresh rate and resolution. Mismatched display settings between your operating system and the game's expected default launch resolution or refresh rate can lead to a black screen or non-displaying window. Try setting your primary monitor's refresh rate to 60 Hz and a standard resolution like 1920x1080 before launching the game, then adjust in-game. 8. Disable all in-game overlays. Overlays from applications like NVIDIA GeForce Experience, Discord, Steam, if launched through it, though less common for Epic, or other monitoring software, can inject code into the game process, sometimes causing conflicts during launch. Temporarily disable all such overlays to rule them out as the cause. 9. Add Crysis 2 Remastered to Antivirus/Firewall exclusions. Aggressive antivirus software or Windows Defender Firewall can mistakenly identify game executables or related files as threats, preventing them from running or interacting with necessary system components. Create specific exclusions for the game's installation folder and its main executable within your security software. 10. Update Windows OS and essential runtimes. DirectX Visual C++. An outdated operating system can lack crucial updates for stability and compatibility, while missing or corrupted DirectX and Visual C++ redistributables are common causes for games failing to initialize. Ensure your Windows installation is fully updated and manually install the latest versions of DirectX and Visual C++ runtimes. 11. Perform a clean boot to isolate conflicts. A clean boot starts Windows with a minimal set of drivers and startup programs, helping to identify if background applications or services are conflicting with Crysis 2 Remastered. Use msconfig to selectively disable non-Microsoft services and startup items, then attempt to launch the game. 12. Manually delete or reset game configuration files. Corrupted user configuration files can prevent a game from starting, especially after hardware or driver changes. Locate the game's configuration directory, often in Documents/My Games/Crysis 2 Remastered, or the game's installation folder, and temporarily move or delete the config files to force the game to generate new ones. 13. Check for corrupted system files, SFC scan. Windows system file corruption can manifest in various ways, including application launch failures. Open Command Prompt as an administrator and run sfc/scano to detect and repair any integrity violations within your Windows installation. 14. Ensure adequate virtual memory, page file. Insufficient virtual memory or page file size can lead to out-of-memory errors during game initialization, particularly for resource-intensive titles. Adjust your system's virtual memory settings to allow Windows to dynamically manage the page file size, or set a custom range that provides ample overhead. 15. Reinstall Crysis 2 Remastered. As a last resort, if all other troubleshooting steps fail, a complete reinstallation of Crysis 2 Remastered can resolve deeply embedded file corruption or installation issues. Ensure you fully uninstall the game and delete any remaining residual files before downloading and installing it again. 16. Check for multi-monitor launch issues. If you have multiple monitors, the game might be attempting to launch on a disabled or incorrectly configured display, or outside the visible area of your primary monitor. Try launching the game with only a single monitor connected, or use Windows key plus Shift plus arrow keys to cycle windows between displays. 17. Power management settings for GPU. Ensure your NVIDIA GPU is set to prefer maximum performance in the NVIDIA Control Panel under Power Management mode for the Crysis 2 Remastered program profile. This prevents the GPU from entering low-power states that could hinder game initialization. 18. Disable GPU hardware acceleration in other applications. Other applications running in the background, such as web browsers, Chrome, Edge, or streaming software, might be utilizing GPU hardware acceleration, potentially monopolizing resources or creating conflicts during game launch. Temporarily disable hardware acceleration in these applications. By systematically working through these deep dive solutions, you should be able to identify and resolve the root cause of Crysis 2 Remastered failing to launch, despite running in the background. The NVIDIA DLSS interaction is frequently a key factor, but thorough troubleshooting addresses all potential bottlenecks. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more expert technical guides and solutions.